Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Nerd Mode, this being a show where I introduce you to a series that you may or may not be familiar with. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the Netflix original series, You. Like always, this isn't a review, it's just me talking about a series that I really like that I recommend you check out for yourself. You is a thriller drama. The series follows our main protagonist, Joe, in an age-old tale. You know, boy meets girl, boy becomes obsessed with girl, boy starts stalking girl, boy then starts implanting himself in said girl's life. You know, your typical love story. Joe meets a woman named Beck and it's immediately love at first sight. He becomes obsessed with her and then starts stalking her, learning all that he can about her and her life, creating circumstances where it's like, oh wow, it's such a coincidence that we just happen to bump into each other type of situation. For Joe, getting the girl is only half the story. The other side of the story is creating the perfect happily ever after for themselves, and Joe is willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen. I mean, at the end of the day, what's wrong with doing a little bad if it's all for the sake of love? Okay, so let's break a few things down. First and foremost, I want to bring up the fact is that Joe is not a good guy. That's why I said a main protagonist with quotes around it. I mean, yes, the story is told from Joe's lens, but that does not make him the hero in this story. From the audience perspective, you immediately get the picture of, oh, Joe's not a good guy. But from his perspective, a very warped perspective, he doesn't see anything wrong with what he does. I mean, no one ever thinks they're the villain of their own story. I mean, you have Beck in his mind, this beautiful being that he wants to be with. He thinks she's so perfect and he wants to keep it that way, and he wants to build this perfect life with her. So Joe will manipulate circumstances in her life, cut away all the people and things in her life that he believes to be hurdles, anything that might seem like a detriment to her life, which, yes, can include the people in her life, whether it's her friends or her family. And because of this, on many occasions, things will have a bloody and deadly result. However, like I said, Joe believes himself to be the good guy. He thinks that he's, you know, Beck's knight in shining armor. As I brought up, perspectives are so interesting in this series because even as an audience member, the show from certain lenses will present Joe in a certain light where you'll at least be somewhat sympathetic towards him because you'll, you know, see these sweet and charming sides of him that you're like, oh, Joe can't be all bad. And then immediately he will do something where reality will smack you in the face and you're like, oh, never mind, I was completely wrong. I forgot. I was blinded by all this falsehood and not able to see Joe for what he really is. Joe can be methodical and meticulous, but even then, he is far from perfect. There are instances throughout the show where you'll see him fall and stumble, and in some cases straight out fail, but a lot of times he's still able to turn a lot of that to his advantage, leading you to the point where you're wondering whether or not Joe will get caught or will he get away with everything. A lot of these elements I brought up have continued and grown and adapted over the course of the series. Obviously, I don't want to get too much into that because of, well, spoiler reasons. Just take it from me, this series is a crazy, wild ride with some amazing twists and turns. You is based off a novel of the same name. As of this year, 2021, there are currently 2 sequels to said novel. The second one titled Hidden Bodies and the third one titled You Love Me. Season 3 of You premieres on October 15th. But really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.